Awesome. Hello, everyone. I am super excited to be sharing with you guys tonight. Thank you, Nikki, for opening this up to me. And I feel super honored to come on and share with you all on your team because I know you guys have a super amazing team. It's awesome. So really quickly, my name is Sabrina Laplante. I'm out here in a little town in the Central Valley in California called Hanford. We live on a feedlot with 3,000 cows around us. And basically, my story started, it's been just over 2 years ago. I started on the products as a skeptic, like most of us. My family, there's 5 girls in my family, and my oldest sister down south kept pushing these products on us, and we just kept throwing them back at her and saying no way. But I had a lot of health issues, and she knew I needed it. So finally, a couple months later, I gave in and fell in love with the products. I started out just as a customer in the beginning. And then 2 weeks later, my health had transformed phenomenally, what seemed like overnight for me. So May 1st of 2014, I took the plunge and I signed up to become an ambassador to get those wholesale pricings. I had no clue about Plexus as a company, what it was, like anything about it. I just knew I was taking the pink drink and I no longer passed out from my blood sugar issues. And I love that, right? So I knew I had 3 friends that had blood sugar issues and I wanted to share the products with them so I can get my products paid for. No intention of working a business out of what was in front of me. Little did I know, at that time I had managed, it was a mechanic in an ag shop in a little town not too far from me. And I remember sitting there on my lunch break on May 1st when I had signed up, and I started just sort of researching the company and pulling up statistics about it and what our leaders were about. And instantly I just gained this humongous vision for it. And I thought, you know, my mom and dad's always wanted to do something as a family. And I thought, you know what, God threw Plexus at us for a reason. Like, here it is. Here's a perfect business opportunity. We have products that we're obviously in love with. They're changing people's lives. And then this business opportunity. And I just fell in love with the leaders instantly. Like, I sort of researched a few things on what Plexus was and what our mission statement was. And then I went to the website, knew what I was doing, and I found out what the top rank was in the company, called the Diamond. And I'm like, okay, so I want to be a Diamond one day. That's what was in my head. Nothing I knew, like no thoughts or anything could stop me from that. So I started researching who the Diamonds were, went to Facebook and found the Diamonds on Facebook, started like friending every single one of them. Found out the Sapphires, started friending them, the Emeralds. Like, I just wanted to learn from the best because I knew if they got there, I needed to learn from them. So I just sort of jumped in, had no what one would refer to basically as, you know, an upline support, showing them what to do. It was me and my family, and they just jumped in because they love the products as well. But I just sort of went for it. And like I say, that was May 1st. And I sat there on my lunch break and I set my goals. I wanted to be able to quit my job within 6 months. So that would have been November 1st. I wanted to meet my income, and that way that was going to be able to let me out of that door. I did that in less than 2 months with the company, and I gave my notice and went on my way to being full-time with Plexus. So now I get to say I was able to quit a job, and now I get to change lives full-time as my job title. So it's pretty amazing. I didn't know exactly how I was going to accomplish those goals. I just knew I needed to do whatever. So I started researching everything, the products, the business, the comp plan. I love numbers, so I researched that inside and out, and I knew that nothing could touch us with that, what was in front of us. So I didn't come from a little background. I was homeschooled, 27 years old now, and there were 5 girls in my family, and the last 3.5 of us were homeschooled our whole entire life. My older sister from 5th grade on. And so we were each other's like best friends and went to a very, very small church. And so we didn't have a ton of, you know, that church community or friends that we went to high school with, or none of that, to have that huge like network that people, a lot of times when you jump on board Plexus, you get your best friends to join you. I had a couple of friends already doing Plexus that hadn't shared it with me. I found out later that they were involved in it. And so my family, now all these girls are involved in Plexus, but they didn't sign underneath me. We stacked our business complete wrong way. But yeah, so I knew I needed to grow my business and I knew I needed to meet people and figure out a way to get the opportunity out to people as well as the product. So I started 2 years ago, and I had 1,200 friends on my Facebook list. To some people, that might seem like a ton, but I knew the limit on Facebook was 5,000. So I'm like, you know what? I got to meet new friends on Facebook, and I got to grow my friends list. So constantly, I was adding to my friends list. Facebook pops up with the suggested friends list all the time that you might know because you have friends in common with them. And I thought, got to start like building this network. And instantly, I started reaching out to people, but because I had belief, and so that's where I'm sort of going to wrap my story around. You have to have belief, number one, in yourself. So how do we gain belief in ourselves? We gain belief in ourselves by knowledge, the knowledge of the products. Then we know that when we talk about something, it's easier for us to talk about. We believe in ourselves because of the things that we've been told by others or by the thoughts that were put in our head. And so belief is huge. Obviously, you hear this over and over. You have to have that belief to be able to succeed, to go further. Like, don't let your head stop you. And so I believed in the products. I believed in the business opportunity. I know, y'all, people's lives are relying on these products, right? So we can't keep them to ourselves. That's being selfish. And you never know what stranger out in front of us is suffering from blood sugar issues or inflammation issues or any of these health issues. So how dare we judge and just look at a person and think they look healthy so they don't need the products? Everyone needs them. End of story. When people lay their heads down at nighttime, they pray about a couple different things that they're stressing over: health and finances. We have that perfect opportunity right here in front of them. And so I knew that I had belief in both the products, the business opportunity, and belief in myself. And part of that comes back to the way I was raised. I came from a family to where we were taught that you can do anything you put your mind to. Like, as long as you want to do it and put forth the work that goes into doing anything, like, you can accomplish anything. Like, there's no limit. It doesn't matter what type of family you came from, what your background is. Like, if your heart is set out on a journey and you want to become a diamond, nothing is going to stop you besides yourself. Like, we will be our own worst enemy, and we are going to be the only thing that's going to, like, seriously put that roadblock up to let us not succeed. As long as you're willing to put the time into it, as long as you're willing to put forth the effort and to go for it, like, nothing's going to stop you. And so I knew that, like, I had everything right there in a package. Why not? So I started thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what? I got to start, like, sharing this opportunity with people. And so I was the type that I would talk to strangers wherever I went. I would talk to every cashier, whether it was in the grocery store or at a restaurant or whatnot. And so I thought, if I can share Plexus with people like that, I can certainly create a message on Facebook and send out. Like I said, I was increasing my friends list daily. Like, I'm just going to start sending messages out to people every single day. What are people going to say? No? Try it. It's harder than you think sometimes getting people to say no to you. And so I did. I developed a little message, and it changed from person to person. Granted, if I knew that person a little bit better, I would sort of, personalize it to them. But for the most part, I was sending out a basic message, and I'll get all this information to Nikki at the end, I promise y'all. But basically, I was presenting the products and the business opportunity to people, but not directly to them. So say I was sending the message to Sally Smith, I wasn't directly telling Sally Smith, like, hey, you need these products. Can you benefit from this? Can you benefit from an extra, $200 or $500 a month? But that's not the way I take that approach. I use that third party basically saying, hey, I sort of started my messages out like, I don't know if you've seen my thousands of Plexus posts. If any of y'all see my Facebook page, I post about Plexus all day long. Like, that's just me. And so I said, I don't know if you've seen any of my Plexus posts or seen what I was doing, but I've started up with this company. I fell in love with the products. They changed my life. The business opportunity is mind-blowing. I don't know if you know of anyone that suffers from blood sugar issues, gut health problems. I started naming some of these things off, and I just said, I feel like the key word to taking that pressure off of people is, do you know of someone that these could benefit? Most of the time, obviously, we know that these people themselves that we're talking to can benefit from the products. But it just takes that pressure off them. That way it's not you directly. And I do that when I talk to strangers out in public. I just ask them if they know of someone that can benefit from it. When I share my business card, pass it on to them. That sort of situation. And so I just played that situation, that scenario right there in my messages. And, I made it my goal to basically, I would get up every single morning, okay? Goes back to mindset, that belief, read my positive affirmations, pray about it, ask God to put the right people in front of me at the right time that really needed the product. And then I would just send out 10 messages every single day. Like that was my goal. Like I was going to do whatever I could to get that opportunity in front of people. And they say that it takes roughly 20 people to get the opportunity or the products in front of for someone to sort of get someone interested. Okay, that's statistics. You might send out 50 messages and get 1 response back. You might send out 5 and get 2 responses back. It's just one of those things you just got to play by ear. And so then I started thinking sometimes I would send out 10 and I wouldn't get a single response back. So then I made my goal. I was going to send out a minimum of 10 or until I got 1 response. Whether that was a, no, thank you, don't message me again. You know what? I might know if someone is interested in Plexus. Or, hey, would that benefit such and such a problem? I just made it my goal. Like I was not going to stop sending those messages out until I got some sort of response back. And so I started like challenging my team to do the same thing. And I'm like, hey, send out messages. I'm like, I challenge you to go get 5 no's. Now, people are scared of getting no's. I love to get no's. The least I know, if they say no, no, honestly, just means not right now because it's not the right time, but it actually never actually means no. I've had so many people say no to me that are now on my team or now that have been long-time customers because I made it that point to reach out to them. Now, it bothers me more when people ignore my messages because on Messenger, they can see that lovely little bubble pop up when they see the messages. I'm like, really? Just respond back. Something simple. But I know that's the way people work. But anyways, it's just I got in that habit of doing that. And literally, I have quite a few people on my team that have joined because of that. Quite a few customers. That's how I grew the majority of probably 95% of my team in the beginning that I signed personally. I had never met. Like I grew my business literally all through Facebook. Like that was my prime source of getting Flex out there to that, whether you want to call it a warm market, because in my opinion, it's a version of a cold market because like I said, I don't know these people outside of Facebook. And so I sort of got in the habit of as well when I started adding friends on Facebook because I didn't want to add Sally Smith on Monday and Tuesday send a cold message to her and say, hey, you don't know. And then she's going to be like, really? You added me as a friend so you can sell me something? Okay. But remember, that's going back to the mindset too. We're not selling anyone anything. We're offering them something that they need. So I just started making a list. When people did accept my friend request, I'd write their name down. That way I knew to interact on their page, but not instantly message them. And just little different habits that I got into after developing sort of that system for my own benefit, basically. That way someone wasn't, because I've got some rude messages back from people and I just sort of moved on and some of the rude messages, people are on the team now. So yeah, I just got into the habit of it and did not let myself stop. Like I said, I made that habit to send out 10 messages every single day or until I got a response back. When I got a response back, I made notes because when you start sending that many messages out, your Facebook Messenger, people are going to get lost in those conversations 24/7. So the best thing you can do is to keep notes. And I'm the type of person like, I keep notes like pen and paper. I don't have a system set up in my computer or Microsoft Word or any other type of stuff. That's not my strong point. I'm all about, pencil and paper. That way I can go and add notes as I talk to them, put a date by them, follow up with them if it is someone that's interested or has a friend interested. And always remember, if it's someone that is interested and they know a friend's interested in the products as well, always offer that business opportunity to them. That way they can bring their friends on board to be able to sign up underneath them instead of taking, 4 customers for yourself like that, if that makes sense. But it's just one of those things. Like I said, it's got to go back to your belief. You can't feel like you're selling something to someone. That's just that's our roadblock in our head. You're not selling anyone anything. You're offering them hope that we have in a product and a business opportunity. As long as you can go into that and you have that belief that's strong, that no one can tell you differently, because you'll have those days where someone tells you that the products don't work or the business is a scam, or, you know, we've heard it all, right? To this day, there will always be those kind of people trying to run you down and kill your dreams. But those people, they need more prayer than anything, basically. They're very sad, unhappy people. So as long as you look at it like, you know what, maybe I have something that can help that person one day. Just because they're saying mean things now, don't write those people off. It's one thing if they're being mean and attacking you on a Plexus or on a Facebook post that you've made about Plexus. Those kind of people, okay, delete those comments. Don't play into negativity. But if it's someone just saying, you know, a mean, nasty message, just know that I've had people send me mean, nasty messages that are on the team now and had to suck up their words and eat them and apologize about them. But I don't know. That's what's worked for me. Seriously, like, I don't know. I have to go back and figure it out how many people I've signed that way, but lots and lots and lots of customers I've got that way, and lots of team members because of a cold message that I sent out to someone, more than likely just asking them if they knew of someone that could benefit from the product. Nikki?
All right. So that is, yeah. Hold on. I'm on a delay. It takes a second. Okay. So we're like having storms around us. Okay. So I keep getting messages of people can't log in. They keep logging in and out. But anyways, hope y'all can hear me because I'm freezing. My face is freezing up. But anyways, I've taken a lot of notes here. Like I can't know if you can see them. But it's funny that she mentioned belief, because I wrote it, belief, and circled it before she even said it, because I'm listening to her and she's talking about what she's done and, you know, roadblock and barriers and how she got past those. And it was all on belief, because her belief was stronger than any roadblock that was going to get in her way. So Sabrina, what do you think when you got those no's? And I mean, I've seen some of your posts. I've seen where people were nasty on your posts and just being total haters and just uneducated. What, instead of letting that discourage you, how did that fuel you? What did you do to keep pushing through and not get discouraged?
Honestly, like my biggest thing when someone does say something nasty or mean or just like totally wrong, I use those people, like I make up my mind that I want to stay in constant contact with them, and I'm determined that one day maybe I want them on my team. And there goes, you know, drawing the line about, you know, depending on what the person it is, but mostly everyone, and they say these mean negative things out of, sometimes it's out of jealousy, sometimes it's out of the unknown and the fact that they're uneducated in what others have told them about companies, and maybe a bad past experience. And so sometimes when someone says something super mean on a, you know, on a public post, I'll just ask them, like, what's their, I'll private message them, and I'll just ask them, like, hey, what is your reasoning to say something like that? Like, give me, like, do you have a story to back that up? Like, what exactly is it that causes you to have those thoughts about it? And then I just try to get on that personal side with them and try to connect with them and see where their feelings are coming from. And most of the time, it is from someone's past experience, or, you know, you can't get this through to everyone. Like, everyone needs it, but not everyone's going to want it. So it's just basically going back and trying to, like, I don't know, I don't let people's thoughts or their actions, like, bother me, because they do in a way, but I transform that over to, like, yeah, feeling my fire. When someone tells me I can't do something, like, I'm set out to, like, prove them wrong. And not because I'm just going to prove them wrong, just prove them wrong. But because I know deep down, like, I can do it. Like, there's nothing that's going to stop me. We serve an almighty God. We can do all things through Christ, right? So we have God backing us, like nothing else is going to stop us. And that's sort of, like, I mean, it's sort of faith-based around where my thoughts and actions are coming from, basically. And so it's just, and I don't know, it's just a journey that you sort of have to go on. And like I said, I look forward to someone telling me no now, because no doesn't mean no. Like, that's all. And there will be some people that have told me no time after time, and then sort of get interested and come back, and then I'm constantly following up with someone, like time after time after time. Maybe not just plexus, maybe about life, and they come back about plexus again and life and plexus again. And I'm like, hey, like, if you want me to stop, you're gonna have to like tell me, stop. Don't message me anymore, because until that time, like, I'm gonna follow up with you like nonstop, seriously, until you finally give in. And most of the time, it's just a matter of the right timing for someone. And then I've had people thank me later on, like, for pushing me after they said no and not giving up on someone, because it is about timing. But I don't know. That was sort of probably off topic a little bit, but just going back to, dealing with negative people. I think if we just sort of have that understanding of where they're coming from and realize that people live a very sad life and miserable lives, and we don't know, maybe they just got in a fight with their spouse that day, or something happened, or they see a post about something that can help with a health issue. Maybe they just had a relative die from that, and they don't want to see something telling them that something's going to help them. That just might, just turn someone off to something sometimes. And so I think if we have that mindset to where, knowing that we don't know what happened in their life that caused them to think that way, but we have something that can help them, and as long as we just sort of trickle into their system and stay with them and pray for those people, they might come around one day.
So,
in a roundabout way. Does that make sense?
Yes. If you notice what she's talking about here, she is like, she doesn't take their no's personal. They're not no to Sabrina. They're not no to plexus. They've got something, they've got a roadblock. They have a barrier in their way, and she works with them on a level to get through that. And 99% of this comes from her belief in herself. You guys hear me say it all the time. We're not on the same team. And this is one thing I did not even message her to touch on, was belief. I guess it just comes naturally. And her biggest thing she said was belief in herself. She wakes up every morning and she has goals. Guess what she says? Her positive affirmations. She has income producing activities that she does every single day, and she's messaging people. I can guarantee you in the beginning, that wasn't a comfort zone. She had to peel back the layers of that comfort zone to start being able to message people. She may have been just like us. I remember when I first sent that very first message, I had to make myself press send. I'm just sitting here like this. Do I do it? Do I not do it? And finally, when I did it, it became easier each and every time. But guess what? Had Sabrina not messaged those people, someone else was going to. And you know what? What if the people on your contact list are suggested friends of another plexus ambassador? They're on this call today listening to Sabrina, and they're going to start friending all your mutual friends. I'm not saying they're going to go to your friends list, but what if you have mutual friends, suggested friends down the line, and guess what? Because you were too scared to reach out to them, someone that is bolder and more hungry for this opportunity is going to reach out to them. So guess what? They're going to hear about plexus. They're going to hear about something, and it may just not be from you. And so don't lose that opportunity because of fear, because everybody has a suggested friend list on Facebook, and someone may be listening to Sabrina. She's probably on other team calls giving these exact tips, and it's a small world. There are people in, other states that know you guys, that all have mutual friends. We're all connected some way, somehow. So you know what? That's pretty amazing that she was just bold enough to go start friending people. And she didn't just message them the very next day. I have girls that I get friend requests from, and I'll go click on their profile. I'm like, I bet you they sell something. And it's like Rodan and Field, It Works, something. But I know they're going to reach out to me at some point. I'm thinking, have they not looked at my profile? Do they not see what I do? Why are they friending me? But anyways, I know that's why. But belief is powerful. Knowledge is powerful. I don't know if you realized this in the beginning. She talked about research, learning her products, learning her people, learning their history, and educating herself on just everything plexus has to offer. And knowledge is powerful. And you know what else that does? That helps you build your belief. One more question, Sabrina. How did you get past The fear of being that person. I don't want to be that person on Facebook that sends messages just wanting to sell something. How did you get past the thought of just being that person? I put you in quotes, that person, because we've all got those messages and they're annoying. You're like, someone reaches out to you, hey girl, I hadn't talked to you in forever. Your kids are beautiful, yada, yada, y'all. P.S. Have you ever heard of Plexus? You know, and it kind of bugged us. You're like, oh, that's the only reason you're reaching out to me. So how did you get past that fear and that roadblock of being that person?
Because being that person, going back again, I don't feel like I'm selling anyone anything. I don't. I have something, we all have something that our friends and family and these strangers out in front of us need. End of story. Like, as long as you, I just think, like, as long as you think about it like that, you're not bugging someone, you're not sending out a message. I guess when I get those messages, it's directly, like, to me, it feels like fake, because they act like they are somewhat interested in you, because sometimes they bring up the subject about you, whether it's, oh my gosh, I saw you ride, or oh my gosh, I saw you work out. Have you heard of that? They just bring up these little things where they actually go to your profile for 2 seconds and sort of see what you do. Yeah, most of the time they miss part that it's Plexus, and then they just try to build on something right there, and then it's just like that cheesy sort of scripted message, and you're thinking like, what, really? But I think I've never had someone approach me with a third-party message, or I don't know, third party is not the right word, but using that, do you know of someone that could benefit from that? And I think that's what helps a lot of people, because it takes that pressure off of saying, do you want to buy Plexus from me? It's not that. It's, if you know of someone, like, do you mind sending them my way, or if you know someone that these products could help with such and such condition. And so it goes, like I say, I don't feel like I'm selling someone something. Like, I feel like I'm helping someone constantly, all the time, because they need more money and they need something that's going to help with their health. And then it's that sort of going after that indirect approach, I guess is the word I'm looking for, that indirect approach. That way it's not targeting them on the spot, but someone they might know of.
And I like that, the third party. That way you're taking the heat off of them, as she said. So that's a great approach. Thank you, Sabrina, for getting on and investing in my team today. You don't know how much I appreciate it. And congratulations on your car. That's so exciting. I saw the pictures. Guys, if you haven't friended her, you need to go follow her. But anyways, I want y'all to take this little bit of piece with you. I just want to share, posting on Facebook is like shooting in the air and hoping it will land on something. And actually contacting people is like shooting at the bullseye. So just, when you're posting, you're just hoping they see it. When you're actually contacting them, you are actually shooting at the bullseye. You're actually aiming for that target versus just doing a passive post, hoping that it hits the bullseye, hoping that it lands on someone. So guys, I challenge you to not just shoot random shots in the air, and shoot at the bullseye. Aim at the target. Aim at what you want and go for it. Dream big, as Sabrina said. Someone tells you you can't, go for it even harder. I remember last month, towards the end, someone was telling her she can't hit Emerald. She's not going to make it. And guess what? She made it. Because where there's a will, there's a way. How hungry are you? Anyways, thank you for tuning in, Sabrina. I can't thank you enough. And thank you guys for taking time out of your day. I know this call was a little longer than normal, but I feel it was worth it. So anyways, have a good night, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Good night.